and who the building is named for to hop in at any point and add to any editorial comments. Okay, Joe?
Yes.
So this is basically just a map of where the building is, and you can see it along Wilson Boulevard. And if you drive down Wilson Boulevard, it really is kind of the center of campus now that we say we've gone from the basement to Main Street because we truly are right on Wilson Boulevard with this building. It's quite impressive. So if you get a chance to drive down Wilson Boulevard, you'll see how the building really has taken a um, a big presence on campus. And okay, this is the narthex of the building. It shows narthex going into the chapel. And if you look on the right-hand side, there is a little graphic about what the building costs actually are. So hold on for 1 second. I've got to change my view so I can actually see this. So the project itself is between the building and the endowment is almost $10 million, $9,785,000. We have been very fortunate and people have been so generous. We at this point have raised $9,600,000. So we're just about $225,000 away from our goal. We would absolutely love to be debt-free when we open our door. So we are working diligently to raise that last 225, 200, and probably more than that if we can, only because we expect that there may be some incidentals that we may crop up on us and hope for not to have to go into the project to continue it once the building's built and continuing raising money. So we want to have that raised by the time the building opens in April, hopefully. It's interesting if you look at this. This is our original visioning from 2019 when we started talking about this project. This is what the students actually wanted the building to be: comfortable, have not a lot of natural light, flexible. And it's interesting how many of the things look very similar to what our final outcome was. And if you look at the bottom, you see the baptismal font is really, I never noticed it until today. That's almost very similar to what the final baptismal font looks like. Here's the floor plan that Father Cool and Tim were showing all throughout through the tour. It is about 8,000 square feet total. And here's some views. There's the outside of the top left-hand corner is the entranceway from if you're coming from campus, right across from Gilbert. And you saw the picture on the right to upper right. That's the front of the building from the Wilson Boulevard. And then there's just some pictures of the construction as it's gone along.
And I think it's, if I'm still correct, there is some sort of a glass cover over the front door, isn't there not?
That is correct. So over the entranceway, there is a canopy.
Canopy, and then
protected
and
from
above that some stained glass, which will be very pretty.
Oh yeah, on both entrance doors, over both entrance doors, and I don't have the pictures of them in this PowerPoint. There is stained glass over both entrance doors. These are actually models of all of the liturgical furniture. So on the left, you'll see the baptismal font and the Easter candle, along with the altar, the presider's chair, the ambo, and the tabernacle and the tabernacle stand. They're made out of cement. The bases are cement. The wood is ash, which is kind of interesting, that the fact that ash is almost non-existent now. It's all been based on the ash borer disease that went through the pest that went through the especially the Northeast, it's hard to get ash. So the liturgical designer John Dodd actually had ash available, and all the furniture is made out of ash. And in the right-hand side, you can see the baptismal font up close. These are all models that John has done of the furniture. The furniture is almost all done. It's all ready to go, except for he's working on the candles yet. This is a rendering of what the multi-purpose room will look like. And as I said, that ceiling is not going to look like that. It's going to be a little bit different. And the furniture is, we actually had a meeting yesterday with the furniture designers, and the furniture does not look at all like this, but it really is going to be more like a living room with some space for table space that can all be moved out so that we can use it as a banquet style room. But the furniture is not going to be these kind of round banquettes or anything. It's going to be more like living room couch furniture and easy chairs and things like that. Along the windows, there will be the high tops because students apparently love high tops. This is a picture of the Tree of Life window, and this actually is not the correct I didn't notice that. This is not the correct rendering of it. The rendering actually will have the window will have a much more distinct trunk going through it, and the colors are a little different. There's other colors in it, less green in it. Joe, I don't know if you have any other comments on that. Joe?
No.
No, okay. Okay. And this is the dandelion window. That will be opposite the Tree of Life window in the back of so you can see the different stages of the dandelion going from and its seeds going off into the world.
And the colors aren't shown as richly here as they're going to be.
Yeah, the colors will be different. Um, Brother Martin, who is the monk who actually designed these, is working on a new rendering of that for us. The stained glass will actually be made in St. Louis by a family that's five generations of stained glass makers called Emil Fry. And they'll be out soon as soon as all of the windows are framed in, so the big windows framed in and the dandelion windows framed in, they will be out to actually measure for them. And then they figure it will take about 6 months to produce the windows. And then they will come to Rochester to install them.
And someone just asked where the cross is going to be
Oh, okay. Let me back up. So the cross will be right hanging in front of the window right
over the
here,
altar.
right there. It's suspended over the altar. So it'll be about 6 feet away from that window, suspended directly over the altar. These are the side windows. There's six of them. So here's three of them, and here's the other three. And they all really have elements of trees and nature, which is what our thought for the whole building had always been, is the calmness and the quietness of nature and reflecting the river and the campus and the trees on the campus and things like that. And here's just some video on the left, the top left, that is actually the tabernacle, which came from Germany from a artisan called Egino Weinart. It's four-sided enamel, and I'm not going to get all the sides correct. I don't know if you know them. One is the wedding at Cana. Joe, do you remember?
We should. Let's see.
The Last Supper,
The Last Supper, correct. Um,
Peter coming in from the sea.
it might be. Yeah, that would.
And I'm not sure but there's the four sides have Bible stories on
Yeah,
them.
yeah. And
And
someone asked the question where the artwork is going to be, and if there are other crucifixes.
I don't,
I know that we've given one to Brian, which will probably be in his office, I guess, or the sanctuary.
oh, Yeah, I mean, there's going to be an icon of Mary, the icon of Mary that we currently have on campus. That will be in the offices. There will be the saints will be in the narthex. We'll have Saint Luke, Saint Cecilia, and Saint Augustine in the narthex. The second picture here is actually the corpus that will be on the cross that will be over the altar. This is also from Egino wine art. And John Dodd is creating the cross that it will be mounted on, and it will be suspended from the ceiling from the work the um, excuse me, from the timber work. The third picture is actually a picture of a uh, mosaic that is in at the University of Pennsylvania's Newman Center, and we went to see it a couple weeks ago. And the same artisans who are in Peru are going to be doing the mosaic of St. John Henry Newman, and most likely the mosaics of St. Cecilia, St. Luke, and St. Augustine. It was very beautiful. That picture doesn't do it justice. And the fourth picture on the right is actually the divider, which will be in the sacristy so that people can use that for confession. But it actually will accordion up against the wall so that when it's not needed for confession, the room is usable for other stuff. And this is just some pictures of the office. This is the furniture that will be in the offices. This is the shared office for the campus ministers. This is the director's office furniture. And this is the open office. There's two, this will be where the student workers, the students can work. And there's two cubicles for other office, for the other staff people. And there's another view of it from the other side.
Very
Oh,
nice.
yeah, will there be stations across? Yeah, the stations across will be in in the in the chapel, and I don't have a picture of them available, but they will be they're made of bronze, and they'll be mounted on either probably black slate, and they will be in the chapel. Um, There will be a Joseph and Mary will be in the there. We have statues of Joseph and Mary, which will be in the chapel in the narthex across from the other saints. And I don't have I we do have those. They are about 100 years old. They're being refurbished right now. They're quite beautiful. Anything else I missed?
I don't think so. Very, very well done. Thank you.
Will the artwork same be ready for? Oh, the artwork and the stained glass probably will not be ready when they open in the fall, in the spring, but hopefully by, our goal is to have all of that in by Meliora weekend in October. So hopefully all that stuff, everything will be in the chapel by then. Okay.
And there were questions farther back of there was an older design with 2 stories. Does this have a basement that can be used?
No, there's this door, there's no basement. Actually, the water table is too high there, believe it or not. So there is no basement.
That's one of the reasons there are so many storage spaces.
Yeah, that's why we have a lot of storage because there is no basement. And actually the foundation of this building is it's insulated by huge um, styrofoam. I don't know how to even describe it. There's styrofoam that they actually poured all the cement into so that it's insulated from the bottom up. In the flooring, it's going to be rugs in the chapel, and there will be pews and kneelers, and there will be some chairs, and for the chairs there will also be kneelers available for the chairs. The capacity of the chapel, I believe, is 120, and we will have the actual some space to chair in the narthex if we need overflow space, and that we'll also be able to there'll be audio visual equipment available to live stream into the multi-purpose room. I think
It's
I got
very
it.
unusual to have the uh, no doors between the narthex and the chapel, which I think gives it a much bigger feeling,
Yeah,
and more flexibility, and the opportunity for people who are walking by to see that mass is going on. And
right.
very nice.
But there will be some screening on the glass so that there won't be a distraction of people walking by from the outside. So that's true of the office doors, and also the multi-purpose room doors will have a pattern on them so that it's traffic from the hallway won't be distracting. If anyone has any, yeah, there is that's the whole back wall of the chapel is soundproofed. That's what all that the materials on the back wall of the chapel really helped that. They've worked a lot on that. That was one of the main concerns we had about noise in the chapel.
Is most places it's double insulation inside and outside.
Yeah, yeah. If no one has
Well,
any
thank
other,
you, Anne.
thank you for everyone for joining us. We had, I just so you know, at one point there were about 50 people on the call, so I think that's fabulous. Where do the 100-year-old stations come from? They are from, believe it or not, the the monk that is designing this had these Stations of the Cross, and they're from the same designer who designed the tabernacle
Tabernacle.
and also the corpus. The monk had them in his possession, and they really went with the design. I'm not quite sure where Brother Martin got them, but he was willing to sell them to us, and that's where we got the stations. So if no one has anything else, I'd really thank everyone for joining us, and hopefully you'll all be able to come and see this in person when we open. And we'll be sending out all kinds of communications about when that's going to be. And there'll probably be more than one opening event. So I'll be on the lookout for that, and also updates as we move along and we get closer to completing the building. And tonight there is a town hall. If you want to join us again at 7:30, Father Cool's going to replay what his tour was, and then you can get his view on. He'll explain the PowerPoint probably very differently than I did. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.